Hello, Vivek.
Yep. Hi, George.
Am I allowed to speak? Like, can we ask questions, or is there a way that this meeting is supposed to go?
Yeah, so we will be going through the Google Docs, and looks like we are
Okay.
live. So let's quickly follow that. I'll
All
start
right.
sharing the screen. And hi, everyone. I welcome you to the weekly sites meeting of Layer 5. On this meeting, we talk about all the sites, as the name suggests, and UI UX proposal, and also design system resources around how you can get started with contributing to this part of the, uh, you know, the technology in the project and uh, which are help wanted areas, also the recent changes and updates from you. So we discuss all of them. And so this Google Docs that's also on the screen will be acting as our meeting minutes for this call. Let me quickly go ahead and drop that in chat. Feel free to write your name in the attendees list. And also, if you've got any kind of issues or pull requests that you're working on in sites and would like to discuss about it, you want to get some feedback, or you simply are in need of some suggestions or guidance, like all the committee members on the call, they're here for doing that. So, yeah, it would be helpful if you could mention that into the particular section of the site. And basically, because we were not able to get it corrected for the meeting. So yeah, if you've got any and if you add, that will help a lot. So that's like pretty much about the meeting. We like follow every week the tradition, and that is if you're joining this call for the very first time, we want to go ahead and give you a quick introduction. And I think we will be starting with the introduction of Richards. I think you're joining this call for the very first time, so I would invite you to give a quick introduction to everyone. Would you mind doing that?
Okay. Um, good day, everyone. It's actually afternoon for where I'm at right now. So, good afternoon from my hand. So, my name is Richard Akimte, and I'm new to this project. I'm actually signed up for the Mesh3 project, right? And my background is in cloud support, and I have experience working on AWS, Azure, and also a bit of GCP as well. And I'm just on the project to see how I can contribute because this is going to be my first open source contribution. So I'm actually very green here, trying to learn something from you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. And yeah, like if it's like if the front end is the focus, I'm sure like after this call you'll get some idea to get started and contribute. But suffice to say that there are any number of other meetings and discussions happening on different areas, like which might incline well with your focus, or if you will find interest in there. So today we'll be talking about sites, but I'll also be sharing how you can participate in other activities that are more on server side or on DevOps side, like involving technology like GCP and Azure that you just mentioned. So thanks a lot for your introduction.
Thank you.
I don't think we have any more newcomer on the call. Swaroop, do you mind letting me know if this is the very first time you're joining this call, and if you'd like to give your introduction?
Yeah, it's my first time joining this meeting.
Hey, so welcome. Why don't you go ahead and give your introduction?
Uh, I'm Shakrup Mukherjee. Hello, everyone. I'm for the first time in this meeting of Meshery community. I want to get started with open source contribution with Meshery. I have done a little bit open source experience while contributing in OWASP previously, but in LSX I have applied in a Meshery project. So I want to learn about Meshery and get started with the community.
Okay, looks like this summer you're planning to contribute to the project, and that's just fine. Mishri is also one of the top internships in LFX, and also is ninth fastest growing project in terms of CNCF project velocity. It's a report published by CNCF, and you can find us there. So it's a vibrant community. Folks are helpful, and there are a couple of areas where you can start contributing and make an impact. So hopefully, if you have not yet joined, I invite you all to join Thursday's newcomers meeting. We also run a computer training series in there, and we have been doing it for the past couple of weeks, where we take one particular component of Machinery and then we discuss about it. For example, this week we will be having that the topic that we'll be having. It will be on Machinery server, so take around Golang and a number of other things that we manage. That will be discussed by Slok Mishra, who was past GSOC contributor and also one of the mentees in Linux Foundation program. So and let me quickly also take you to the schedule of such sessions so that you are also aware of any upcoming ones. Yep. So this would be the issue. I'll be quickly sharing that in chat. And let's scroll down to the table where we have mentioned about the sessions. Yeah, so like in fact, for the past sessions, you can catch up with the recording and also resources shared. So there's this comment in the particular issue that I just shared. And yeah, you also can see that on May 29th, we'll be having on Mr. Server and many more will be, upcoming in future. So this is the issue where you can be up to date with all the sessions. Let's come back to this place. And yeah, looks like we are finally, clear to start with the standing agenda items. So these are a couple of topics that we discuss every sites, like in every sites meeting. And in fact, if you refer back to the recording of this call, for like in the past weeks, you will be able to find these discussions in detail. And so just for everyone's information, like we are right now live streaming this call on YouTube, and you will be able to find like in fact this meeting too, after it ends, the recorded sessions will be on a YouTube channel that is being down in chat. So starting with catalog, we have a catalog that's like a collection of high quality design apps of Kubernetes and cloud infrastructure, and there's an opportunity for anyone to come and participate. So this is the link for the catalog. Let me quickly share that in chat. It's more of a static representation of the catalog. And if we go to the designs category of items, you can see these design apps. You can take a look at the technology, categories. In fact, you can open any one of them. For example, if you open fault tolerant bash, whatever this is, you can read what it is about and like what's the Kubernetes or infrastructure component that it's representing, who is the author. Yes, you also can take a look at their profile, to get idea about other accomplishments from them in terms of published designs and badges. So again, in fact, whatever you publish, you also get a hold of the engagement that is happening on your design. So those kind of things you can at their profile. And then in fact, you can open this design live Kubernetes cluster environment where you can play around with every, detail of it. So again, there is playground available for you right in your browser. And like that's without, any installation or any charges. So I'll quickly share that. And in fact, this link is available on any other design that we talked about. So go ahead and give it a look, and you might find it helpful if you are here to publish more such designs, or if you just simply would like to play around with Kubernetes or these components to understand Kubernetes or cloud infrastructure better. So there goes that. The issue that we have at hand talks about how you can go and publish and what are different ways of importing designs. And you can see there are a couple of assignee, Libin and Gaurav. I'm not sure about Gaurav, but let's quickly ask Libin if he has any, if he would like to share any updates on this particular, assignment.
Yeah, Vivek, I'm working on it. That's a little bit busy for the past few weeks. I was on it, but hopefully in the next week, I'm planning not to take more tasks, and I'm planning to publish at least some of those, at least those on the documentations of it can be in Google documentation on those links that we have. So I'm planning to focus on those in the coming in this week. But if there are anyone who wants to help, I can collaborate with anyone who's interested.
Yeah, all right. And so for anyone interested, there's a blog that has instructions on different ways of getting into design into the canvas, what it is actually in first place, and like how intelligent it is. So there's like instructions on that in this blog. That's also linked down in the issue. So again, if you're feeling like contributing to it, you simply can grab any such sample apps from any example repository. You don't have to write them yourself, and then can give it a go. So yeah, this is already linked down in chat, and if you're someone who would like to contribute, please do comment and I'll get you assignment. Similar, there are similar nature of issues, which is more about creating templates. So again, I'll share that link and you can explore on the set of such kind of issues. System. So system is our design system, and we had many contributor facing sessions on talking about what's this system and how you also can utilize in your projects, and many different kind of concepts around it. Like in the past, we migrated our UI clients to using system fully with the latest version of MUI, and there are training sessions around that. We in the last I guess just in the last corporate training session, we talked about Meshery UI, where Amit, who is one of the maintainers of this project, we talked about system and how like people are using components from system to build UI clients. So again, you can catch up with those kind of materials through this link that are in here. So link to their setup guides and how to see your changes. If you want to do some real-time changes in the system and want to see them reflected in your UI client, you can again catch up with all those sorts of guidance using these links. So I'll simply not be sharing links, but yeah, it will be available into the Google Docs. So just in case, I'll be dropping this Google Docs in chat. All right. So with that goes the standing event items. We will now be covering the actual items on first site on layer5.io, and it's a Gatsby site with React and whatnot. So if you go to any of the sites that we are discussing, and if you go to the footer, you will be able to navigate through their GitHub repo and like where you will actually find the issue, like the various open issues and the code of like the various components that are used into that project. For example, this site, it rests at this particular GitHub URL. Yeah, just like I said, you will want to start with contributing.md. We have many guidance on some recurring tasks that folks need to do. For example, creating a MMW file and how system is configured for that, and we have some helpful getting started guide as well. So we want to check them out before you get started. We also have one thing to talk about when we talk about how to get Gatsby built faster. And since it's a resource intensive task, and since the code base is huge and like potentially also has some unoptimized graphical queries, Jihan, who is one of the contributor and he's heavily focused onto docs and sites, has this helpful tip on for everyone who is facing the issue of their builds crashing out midway, and how they can configure the logic to selectively build through the pages and not load whole site. For example, if you're just interested into making changes to a particular component, that you just simply need to include that into the build, and you can afford excluding the different parts of it. So there's instructions on that, and it might work for you and might make your contribution experience better. So I'll quickly link that down in chat. Thanks a lot, Jihan, for putting out these descriptive detail and guide. But yeah, let's not lose track of the item that we were talking about. So this is the project, like the GitHub repo for the site, and there are open issues, there are pull requests. So in fact, if you like to contribute by offering your feedback, that's also one of the significant ways to contribute. And so you might have some familiarity with React Gatsby and you simply want to help by going on to, for example, this one, PR, which is from Mahadevan, one of the co-hosts from the call, and you simply take a look at their, code changes and you want to offer some feedback. That's also like very helpful thing to do. So please feel free to do that. But yeah, but this tip helps like works at all the sites. You simply can navigate to the footer and can go to the data record. Let's start by talking about a couple of help wanted issues, which are like area where we need help, and anyone who would like to, offer their help can comment and step up. So the first thing will be about handbook. We have a dedicated handbook section on the site, which is at community/handbook, and its layout is not like right, and it like sometimes totally messes up. For example, it is too much white space before like before this particular title of the page, and sometimes there's irregularities. So it's also something that needs investigation, and you can also see some details from the author. You also can take a look at the CSS that's written for this section, and if you come across any conflicting CSS or any irregularities, you also can address those. So anyone who'd like to contribute, please to try to comment, and I'll be getting this particular item assigned to you. I'll wait for 10 seconds if we have any volunteer on the call for this particular issue. So you can sound off the chat, or you can also unmute and comment using the link that I shared, and that way you'll be able to move the next topic, or you also can follow the process after the call.
I can offer helpful suggestions to it, but I can't help in it directly because I'm already engaged with 2 UI issues.
That's fine. You can like if you are investigating any, if you have any insights, you can share on the comment. And for example, someone Priyadarshini, we can confirm that whether or not they are able to build the site, and then your investigation might help her fix the issue. So like that will also be helpful.
Yep,
So
yep. If I think that something can be done or some solution can be derived, then I will share it in the GitHub.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Siddhant. We have one more help wanted item. Let's quickly take a look at that. Yeah, so this is opened by Mahadevan. So I wonder if Mahadevan would like to cover this one. Mahadevan, would you please
Yeah,
cover this?
hi. So, could you please navigate to the layer 5 site on, yes, this one. So when you scroll down to the footer, you might see that sometimes the footer is repeating. Now, you might think that this is because the footer component is just being repeated in the code, but that's not the issue. It's likely something else, maybe a hydration issue, which another contributor tried to fix in the past, but did not work out. So yeah, feel free to take up the issue and have a look at it.
Yeah, that's quickly, concise and clear introduction of the issue from Mahadevan. And this is something we discussed on the last sites call too. Let's quickly do a test if that holds till now. So for example, this is a section in projects, then in system, then in components. If you navigate systematically through the pages to this particular component, for example, if you first go to open source projects, then we go to system, and then we go to, okay, now I think no, it's not a thing. Okay, it's repeating. I don't think that works. That's working. But basically, what we had found out is basically if you're navigating through the pages by following these links and clicking them, that way the footer would not show up. But if you're navigating directly to that particular link that is linked to the issue, like it just results in the two repetitive footer, and it's something we like to fix. So yeah, again, it will require some investigation and see what's causing this, and potentially it could be an inhalation issue as mentioned by Mahadevan and one other contributor. So anyone would like to help fixing this, I will be sharing the link quickly in chat.
I have just one doubt, like, is this a component repeating only for system/whatever pages?
No, so we just saw that even if
Mostly,
you're
yes. Mostly yes, but
Okay.
also on other pages. It's you can 100% see it on this specific link, but it's also there on some other pages.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we go, if we be a little more specific, so anything that starts with projects and system, and following that, you might come across these two, footer. So thanks a lot, Sudhan, for passing that and Madhavan for answering. But yeah, if you feel like helping with this, then so that we can move ahead.
Vivek, are you speaking? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think there's a network issue on his end.
I think he had a network issue. Okay.
Yeah. Let's just wait for a few minutes.
All right, folks, looks like my connection dropped out, but hopefully I'm back. And Liban, would you like to present your update? You're gonna start
Yeah,
sharing your
sure.
screen and yeah.
So yeah, okay, let me quickly join from my laptop then.
Yeah, and also if you could
So
pass the host, privilege to me.
pardon.
If you could, in the Zoom, if you could pass the host control to me, because I left out, accidentally, and since you
Oh,
were one of the
okay,
co-hosts,
okay, sure,
yeah,
sure. No problem.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, are you able to
Yeah, thanks a
present
lot.
now?
Now it's all in place. Yeah,
All
please
right.
go ahead.
Just a second. Let me join from my laptop. So basically, it's the issue is simple issue adding navigation links on the. Let me also quickly open the layer 5 to show the previous one.
Liban, are you sharing your screen? I can't
I'm
see,
joining
just in
from
case.
I was on my phone. I'm trying to join from my laptop. I just joined from my laptop now. So
Okay.
all right. So this is the issue. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Here is the issue. Let me quickly go to the pull request. So let's see the deployed one as well. So kudos to Mahadipan. He created this issue. So basically, where this is in products, right?
So in this section, basically, we'll add a navigation, a link. So the idea is when users click to, let's say, self-hosted canvas, they'll be redirected to the dog, basically. So that's it. That's what we did. So on the deployed one, we just linked it to the Canvas docs for each of one for the cloud and for the server. I think it's my connection. The right pass.
Liben, I think other contributors can also hear a lot of background noise from your side.
Yeah, and like it's not very clear that what's the change that you're talking about. If you could,
Like if you can sit somewhere else or increase your mic sensitivity or something.
Okay, let me move away from the crowd. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Now you're audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the changes to clearly state the change. So we added a link for the user experience, like so that user can go to the docs from the Canvas session I showed right now. So maybe should we show the code and accept feedback, maybe, Vivek, or how should we proceed?
like, did you say that whether you should share code, or I think if you could just simply show the update that you did, if you have deploy preview link, or if you are building it locally right now, that will help. And then, or if there are some issues or like you cannot do it right now, simply share a link in the full like the chat, and we'll be able to.
I've shared
looks
the
like-
link of the deployment in the chat for
Yeah,
Leban's
thanks a
PR.
lot, Mahadevan. Let's quickly navigate
Yeah.
to the section that Liban was talking about. So I think,
Yes.
yeah, please go on, Mahadevan.
Yeah, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely.
I'll just explain the issue. Yeah. So I was discussing with other contributors and Lee earlier that we have to make a lot of improvements on this page, which is why there is a parent issue here. Sorry, what's this? There has been there is a parent issue, which is this UI fixes and improvements in the Canvas section. This is to make Canvas more visible and more doable, navigatable. You could say one issue which is open, which anybody can take right now, is to update this docs link. This is a help wanted issue. I'll add this to the meeting chart. I'll just quickly cover this. We have to add the docs link so that as of now the image is expanded, but maybe when the user hovers here, then preferably it gets highlighted in green, and then the user should be able to navigate to the relevant docs. For Leben's PR, here for choose your deployment model. Earlier, this was just a static image, but in the background, it's just two divs with a lot of content. So what Lieben has changed is that he has added the relevant links so that the user can navigate, and the cursor points to clicking cursor turns to, like, instead of none, it's now pointed, so the user can know, okay, this is probably clickable, because otherwise the user won't know that it's clickable. That's the change that Leban has made. Other than this, maybe okay, like for example, if maybe we could like get this cursor in, or maybe something which makes it easier for the user to understand that this is clickable, then it's good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this
That's
PR,
totally like,
yeah, look,
yep. So
Yeah.
this is awesome that there's the addition of this hyperlink in that div. And I think what might also make it more evident is that if there's some floating cursor that changes when you navigate between these two sections. So since the first one is taking to a different link and second one is taking to a different link, we might just use something to like distinguish between the two, and like I mean that way it would be more evident for anyone. So what do you think? Should we be doing anything like that?
Yeah, Vivek,
as of
what?
yeah, go on, please. Yeah.
Okay. Why can't we use like an option to say maybe click here, to see various self-hosted option, or maybe like a call out. When you over there, it just comes out like it calls out so that you know that place is active and you can click it. That could be other. That could be as you're hovering now,
so-
you can just pop out now to show it's active, or you can just use a text to show you can click here.
Yeah, so like that's one of the sessions from Richards that instead of like making the whole particular section clickable, we can have for example, a button that will say read more or learn more.
I
And I
think
think
other than
like
that, maybe
that's such a nice
we
session.
can just change the color of self-hosted and cloud on Hover.
Yeah, something like
for
that,
desktop.
and which also like has this outgoing arrow showing that this is something you can read more about. Since because if we add a button, there will be so many buttons on this particular page. If you scroll down, you will be able to see there are a couple of links. They take you to different places, and so. But yeah, definitely we need something to be distinguishing so that it's also more evident for folks to know that these are two different sections, and we in fact have dedicated docs to these two. Otherwise, some just might not notice and they might think that there's just one link.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I think maybe changing the color on Hover would be a small but good change without making this page too heavy. That might be
Yeah,
nice.
that could also work, Madhavan. Since these two have
Yeah.
different backgrounds, something like that could work.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Richards. Does anyone have any other feedback, or I think that was it for this particular change?
So I think we agreed on changing the color of the text or the background.
Yes.
So
The
is
proposal
it
is to-
both like the text in the background?
Yeah, basically like Mahadevan, if you scroll down a little, if you come across any blue button or green button, be precise. If you scroll, you will be able to see some color change, I guess, if I'm not wrong. But if you hover onto the yellow button, that has some effect of as soon as you hover on it, the text changes the color. Okay, so looks like that's not it's just changing the drop shadow or box shadow. So
It's
but yeah,
glowing. It's glowing slightly.
yeah, it's glowing. So again, like Liban, there's like no hard and fast thing that we just discussed, but yeah, anything that would make it different, it will work. So either it's making some adding some box shadow or just changing the color of the text. Either way can work fine as long as it meets good.
Sure.
All right. So I think Mahadevan, you have a couple of items, and before that, do you mind talking about link that I put into the Google Docs? And that's basically an help wanted. So Lee has a snippet of code, and he's asking for help how we can incorporate that on different places. There's a card link, and if you don't have Slack open, I can quickly share, Mahadevan.
Oh, I actually don't have Slack open.
Okay, yeah, let me
But
quickly.
yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, let me quickly share. So let me also share this conversation with you all. So there we are in the website channel, and we are just saying that if we could, have this beautiful component somewhere in our like across multiple pages or maybe on different sections on the site. If I'm able to play the video, I hope that you all are able to see. And this really looks good and nice animation. The code, like snippet is already linked by Lee. So for anyone who would like to add it to the static sites that we have, this will be helpful. And for those who would want to add it into a site using React, the logic is still the same. You just simply will have to do some translation, and that's all. But yeah, the logic is already there, and it's a help wanted item. You can take inspiration from the other kind of animations that we have on the homepage and different sections, and then see where it might fit. But I just wanted to make this call for volunteers, and anyone who'd like to do it, you can. So first of all, we should be starting with an issue, and if you'd also help do that, that will also fine. That will be fine. But I'll go ahead after the call to get an issue, and then if you're interested, you can comment and start working on it. code logic and the code example is already held by Lee. So thanks a lot, Lee. Anyone who might be interested into working on this and you would like to sound off right now?
Yes, I'm interested for this.
Thanks a lot, Divyansh. I'll note your name down and I will comment on the show. Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Then we have a couple of links from Mahadevan. So Mahadevan, do you mind sharing your changes now?
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
I have started sharing my screen. So the first item to cover is that I have added using System package instructions on the about page for System as well as the README. So okay, so I'll just share the screen real quick so that you guys can see the changes made. Is our projects / system about. So here, as you know, system is our design system, but a lot of times you may have to contribute to system and make changes to the components there. So after you make changes to your local system fork, you of course have to test it to see if those changes are correct. So there are two methods that you can use to test your local system fork in any project. One is your manual file installation. The instructions are given here, and there's also a way to test it, as well as using npm link. Similarly, I have added the instructions and a way to test it. This is the exact way that you should test if you have done everything correctly. So make sure whenever you contribute to system and want to test your instructions, follow this exactly. That way, you will be able to ensure that your changes are correct. Similar instructions, actually the same ones, have been added to the README of system. Both the methods have been added. So those are the changes that I wanted to share for this PR. It's like done, so I think this is ready to merge. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. This is helpful update, Mahadevan.
Yeah. I'll go to the next agenda then. Item. Okay, so this was an item that we covered in last week, and the only remaining pending part was that I had to add Splat redirection, which is wildcard redirection for service mesh workshops and anything that comes after that. So I went to Gatsby and checked out their docs on Splat redirect, and it actually was just adding the star and well another star. So that was nice, and I made those changes. But I have a problem. The workflows are failing, and I seem to have a change in a file which I did not make. In Gatsby node, there's this part which is new. It did not make these changes. I only changed this. So it's here and the workflow is failing. It says it points to an issue with Gatsby node. So
Okay,
I'm sure that
that logic in Gatsby Node.js, like you're saying that you did not add that, right?
yeah, I did not add that. There was a merge conflict issue, and I removed these changes, but somehow it came in.
Yeah, just simply
This
close the
last-
PR and open a new one.
Oh, okay, sure. I'll just close the PR and open a new one with all these changes.
That would be
But
awesome.
yeah,
Did you did you by any chance test it out locally, the Splat redirect?
Splat redirect I tested out locally, so it was working, and I also
That's
referred
just
to these
awesome
docs.
because last time I tried it was not for me.
Okay,
But if it
okay.
is like, it
The
will help
last
a
time,
lot.
yes, last time it wasn't. This is the change that I did, like fresh. This is the
Like, not for
I
you,
did,
but I'm talking about one of my changes. And in fact, it will help us
okay.
refactor and remove many redundant redirects in the Gatsby Node.js. So that's something that can come after anyone else can work on. But yeah, if the Splat is working for it, that just would be awesome, Mahadevan.
Yeah, okay. I'll close this PR actually and just open a new one.
Yeah,
That way I don't have to renew this. Okay, yeah. I only had these issues to cover. Oh, this is already covered. This is ready to merge. I actually have to drop off because I have a small other meeting. So yeah,
Okay.
that's it from my end. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mahadevan. All right, looks like we covered everything on this side. Moving on to the next side, and the very first item is a call for volunteer. So, and it's basically a documentation item. Yeah, see you Slack in see you too in Slack, Mahadevan. There is this issue that's well described, and I mean that's no surprise. It's coming from Lee, and he has broke it down like how we can refine our docs in a way that it is interactive, and from where we are getting that inspiration. It's Microsoft Docs, and there's a fake organization, and they explain their feature in terms of that requirement of that orgs. And so for us too, it might make sense to have that style. So docs are already in there. You just simply need to fulfill the criteria and refine the docs like the issue says. So anyone would like to work on it, I'll send the link in chat. Okay. We will move on to the next. So there are two good first issues, and I think it's are two. Okay, I think this is already have been worked out. So let's not talk about it. Let's see if we have second one is still open. It looks like it is. So it's a very good first and a good first issue too. So if you go to this page, there's a screenshot somewhere which has Grammarly captured, and I don't want to include that in our GIFs or our resources. If we close, we look at that, the text box double click.gif is Grammarly included. Yep, yeah, this one. We want to have that, and so yeah, this is just simply to recapture this and then upload it and replace the existing ones with your updated one, which doesn't have Grammarly. So anyone who like to work, this is low code, and like it's pretty beginner friendly and might just be a very good starting point. I will be dropping the link in chat, and we'll see if anyone would like to volunteer. Again, like where you will have to make that capture, like where you will have to capture that screen. Again, that's described in the docs itself. So again, you will find the help in there. So Siddhant is coming, and stepping up with so many issues. So I really appreciate this, Siddhant, and thanks a lot. Anyone else who would like to maybe?
I'm already working on 2 issues, so I don't want to overburden myself. So I will just help all I can.
Yeah.
Hello, Vivek. Did you say this is low code, like more like documentation?
Yeah. So this just simply requires anyone to capture this particular screen and just replacing this GIF with that one, which doesn't have this Grammarly icon that we see, loading Grammarly icon. We should not be having the Grammarly icon in the GIF. Is what exactly this issue states.
Okay.
So yes, to answer your question, yeah, no code involved.
Okay, so just have the canvas capture it without the Grammarly coming out and then upload it back over.
Yeah,
I would like to work on
exactly.
it, but I want to understand what is it first. Maybe I could speak offline with anyone that could put me through so I can contribute to these.
Yeah, definitely. So you can start by commenting, and if you need any further clarification or any further help, it's all there for to be taken. So I'll also help you out. Please comment, and I'll help you find out where you can find this screen that you can capture, and also the exact GIF that you have to replace. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You will find the link to this particular issue in chat already. So thanks a lot to Church and Siddhant.
543.
Yeah.
By the way, may I know, like, can we work on 2 issues simultaneously, or this number?
Yes, I got your question, but I think there's some, noise in your voice. But yeah, like it depends. If you're able to make progress through the 2 issues that you're working on, I think you can work on it. But again, you are getting assigned to so many issues, and you are like at a stage where you are not able to make progress in any, for example, one of them. That's not a place where you or in a community wants to be in, and so it's like recommended that you first focus on one particular item and then you take on any other assignments. like, once you complete that first one. But yeah, if you're able to do it, please do. There's no such restriction or rule in place.
Okay, got it.
Thanks a lot, Divyansh. All right, folks, and there are any number of other issues open too, and so, like we're not able to make call for interest for all of them, but yeah, this docs, this is a Hugo site. I would say beginner friendly. So if you go to the site homepage, this is what it looks like, and there are a couple of sections. The resources drop down that you see is something added by Liben. So a big round of applause for Liben, and you can also see these in action. If you go to videos, we have this page dedicated to video library of ours, where you get to know more about the project and the products. So again, that's there. So this is the Hugo site, and again, the footer will have the GitHub repo. You can navigate to the open issues and can work on it. These are pretty beginner friendly and a straightforward tech to work in. I mean, that's subjective, but yeah, most of the time it's easier to work in. So there you go. We already talked about this one update. And this one NPM link we have covered in a couple of in previous sites, so we'll not be able to go through it again. And we also have a recognition program page. And let me quickly, like, this is a standalone site for that, for various patches that we have, and where and when we award that to member profile. So, and like when they're awarded such badges, you can read more about that. And in fact, we are in need of getting more of these. And for each of those, like the resources that you would require, the description and that stuff, that's already like shared in the issue description. If I open one, like all the requirements and assets are already linked. And like I've also shared the Figma link where you would start working. And yeah, like if you have some familiarity and you have some experience working in Figma, this will be something that you can help us with. So there are any number of open source issues. You can simply take one or many of them. But already that would mostly be it. We are likely missing on a couple of standing agenda items from folks who might have PR. We were not able to cover them, but we'll sure get them feedback after the call too. And so I would also invite you, any one of you, to participate in that. If you just familiar with the technology that's worked in the site and you back, we are like short on help in that. So please go ahead and offer your feedback and suggestions to the open pull request and help us get that either merged or move forward. So that would be such a contribution. So again, thanks everyone for joining this call. I'll see you next Monday, or if not, we have any number of other meetings. And so just like I promised, I'll quickly share that before we wrap up the call. So on Wednesday, just like this meeting, we have a weekly development meeting focused on Meshri and its roadmap, or the work that is being done. On Thursday, we have a weekly newcomers meeting, and also like on second and fourth Thursday, we have build and release meeting. So details on all that meetings, you'll simply find into the calendar. You can also find the discussion standard happening and where to participate in those discussions. Also the meeting minutes for all these meetings, they're all listed down here. So hopefully that will help you out. But yeah, thanks for joining this call. I'll see you next Monday. Bye everyone.
Vivek, can we
Yeah,
speak about the call if you have the time?
can you please repeat?
I mean, can we speak after the call if you have the time?
Yeah, sure. So please be sure to ask any questions in the public Slack channels. So
Okay.
I'm hopeful that you are already in Slack. So yeah, sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. All right, folks, we'll see you in Slack. Bye.